All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome to session 4 of Explore Nutrition. We are well on our way now, so hopefully you are getting exactly what you needed out of these sessions. Today, our focus is going to be on the nutrition labels and really doing a deeper dive into what everything means on these nutrition labels. So back in 1990, the Nutrition Labeling and Education Act provided the FDA with specific authority to require nutrition labeling of most foods regulated by the agency, and to require that all nutrient content claims, such as high fiber or low fat, etc., and health claims to be consistent with agency regulations. So the nutrition label is found on a package of food, and it contains a variety of information about the nutritional value of the food item that are standard. So this includes serving sizes, number of calories, grams of fat, nutrients, and illicit ingredients. Usually all 15 nutrients shown, such as calories, calories from fat, saturated fat, trans fat, cholesterol, sodium, carbs, dietary fiber, sugars, protein, vitamin A, vitamin C, calcium, and iron. Raw fruits and vegetables and fish are exempt from nutrition fact labeling, and foods that contain insignificant amounts, meaning that they're less than zero of all required nutrients, such as foods that fall under that are tea, coffee, and food coloring. All right, so let's get into it now. All right, so serving size information. Look here for both the serving size, so the amount that people typically eat at one time, and the number of servings in the package. Compare your portion size to the serving size listed on the panel. If the serving size is 1 cup and you eat 2, that means you're getting twice the calories, fat, and other nutrients listed on the label. Remember that the information on these panels is based on a 2,000 calorie a day diet, calorie a day diet. So you may need to kind of do some math depending on how many calories you're currently consuming, your age, your gender, your activity level, whether or not you want to lose weight, gain weight, or maintain weight. So something to keep in mind. The total calories is bolded on the left side under the amount per serving. Finding out how many calories are in a single serving is where you would look here. If you do want to cut back on calories to watch your weight or lose weight, this is where you would focus on the total calories of the package. The percent of daily value is to help evaluate how a particular food fits into your daily meal plan. Remember that the percentage of daily value is based off of the 2,000 calories a day. Nutrients. American Heart Association recommends limiting these nutrients no more than 11 to 13 grams of saturated fats, as little trans fats as possible, and no more than 1,500 milligrams of sodium in a day. Once again, the AHA's recommendations for these nutrients. Eating less saturated fats, added sugar, and sodium can help reduce your risk of chronic disease. Saturated and trans fats are linked to increased risk of heart disease. Eating too much sugar can make it difficult to meet your nutrient needs and meet your calorie requirements. And high levels of sodium can add up to high blood pressure, which increases your heart disease risk. And if you're focusing on counting carbs based off of our conversation last week, this is where you focus on that total carb count. More nutrients, vitamins, minerals, and fiber, making sure you get enough of these beneficial nutrients every day. So eat more fiber, more potassium, vitamin D, calcium, and iron to maintain good bone health, to reduce risks of osteoporosis and anemia, choose more fruits and vegetables to get more of these nutrients, and aim high for the percentage of daily vitamins for these nutrients. Protein, carbs, and sugars. A percentage of daily value for proteins is not required. So eat, as I mentioned last week, about a fourth of your plate should be focused on protein. There are 3 types of carbs. There's the sugars, the starches, and the fiber. So focusing on those whole grain bread, cereals, rice, and pasta, plus fruits and vegetables. And then sugars. Simple carbs or sugars occur naturally in foods such as fruit juice, that is fructose, and milk, which is lactose, or come from refined sources such as table sugar, sucrose, or corn syrup. In 2018, added sugars will be included on the nutrition facts label. You actually might be seeing that now in some of your foods if you keep a lookout for sugar. And then the percentage of daily value, as I mentioned, tells you the percentage of each nutrient in a single serving. As a guide, if you want to consume less of a nutrient such as the saturated fat or sodium, choose foods with a lower percentage of daily value, 5% or less. If you want to consume more, such as fiber, focus on about 20% or more of the percentage of daily value. A food that contains anywhere from 10 to 19% is considered a good source for that nutrient. And then the ingredient list. Don't forget about the ingredients. Foods with more than one ingredient must have an ingredient list on the label. Ingredients are listed in descending order by the amount, by the weight. The largest amounts are listed first. So some tips for reading nutrition labels. I do like to say that nutrition label reading is kind of one of those things you have to practice at. It can be overwhelming if this is something you're just starting into, but the more you look at it, the more you practice, the more you see what you're looking for as you go through the grocery store, the better you'll get. So if you need a few more tips and tricks for fat, most of the fat comes from healthy unsaturated fat, then you're probably good to go. If it's mainly saturated or if it has any trans fats, I would put it back on the shelf. Fiber, look for at least 3 grams of fiber per serving for grains, breads, crackers, pasta. Sugars, the number, once again, doesn't distinguish between naturally occurring sugars and added sugars. So a better move is to look at the ingredients for sources of added sugar. Sugar isn't necessarily only sugar on the ingredient list. It can come in disguise as corn sweetener, syrup, brown rice syrup, malt syrup, anything ending in an OSC would be sugar. So keep an eye out for those. Whole grains. To identify heart-healthy and fiber-rich whole grains, look for the word whole before any grain. Popcorn, oatmeal, and quinoa are also considered whole grain. When shopping for healthy breads and crackers, look for the word whole grain or 100% whole wheat. It's not enough that it says multigrain or made with whole grain. Sugar-free doesn't mean that a product has fewer calories. It may even have more, so keep an eye out for that. Sugar-free products have less than 0.05 grams of sugar per serving, so they still technically have sugar in them, and they have calories and carbs from other sources. And then just kind of pay attention to, organic and natural. USDA labels that says organic is 95% or more organic ingredients. So they're not, that has to be government regulated, but words that are natural or, those kind of big, healthy, high in fiber, low in fat, well, those claims on the front of the package aren't government regulated. So keep that in mind when you're shopping for organic cookies. They're not necessarily healthy for you. All right, session recap. All right, So session recap, it looks like it's session recap from number 3. So you can just disregard this and look on, I apologize for that, look on your session recap that came with the slides. I wasn't able to update this slide. It'll just be 2 quick questions like we did the last 3 times. So look for that to gain full credit. And then our next session is session 5, and that'll be our last session. Thanks for hanging with me, guys, and we'll talk to you soon. Have a great day.